Something's eating my underpants. It's in my clothes drawer where I keep underwear, socks and underpants, t-shirts and so forth. And something's eating them, and I resent it because they're new underpants. It means I have to go out and buy more. I suspect whatever it is that's eating them has at least 6 legs. I think they've all got 6 legs apart from spiders. I don't think spiders eat people's underpants. But whatever it is, it's something with 6 legs and mandibles that's eating mine. I wonder if Muji has that problem. He's living in Portugal, I think, at the moment. They've got a lot of, underpants-eating critters in Portugal. Insects. Well, we've been terribly serious, haven't we? We've all been very serious. How could you be so horrible to Eric, Jack? He's not doing any harm. And all that sort of thing. People rushing to defend something against the evil aggressor, Jack. Some of you have been exhorting me to speak of myself. When I was a child, long before I became fully adult, when I was a child, I was seriously mistreated. I was abused. And I grew up to become a young man, racked by feelings of fear, terror even, and shame, self-loathing, fury, hatred of others, deep suspicion, mistrust and fear leads to hatred, does it not? And now that I've become more elderly, after a lifetime in which I've made so many mistakes and caused so much pain to myself and to others, I've finally acquired the truth. I've found the truth. I know the truth. I know the truth about myself. I know what happened to me. I know how it affected me. And I've started to put right in myself all those terrible hurts that were the residue I've carried for so long. I could, but I'm not going to in the time we've got here to talk. I could dissimulate what happened to me, and I could talk about spirit and how I could be something new. I don't have to be stuck in this identity which I got from the past, which is something some of you have accused me of over the years that I've been talking to you, either as Jack Rainbow or as somebody else. But I don't have any reservations in talking about myself. I don't have anything to conceal or hide in myself. There's nothing there that I don't know about in myself. And I certainly don't have a need to invent ideas about my spirit, my ego, myself, enlightenment, the God within, all these concepts with which I am as familiar as you are with your underpants. I don't need to talk about that because that would be a defense. I would be trying to avoid the issue of what happened to me and how it affected me. And the most important consequence of deeply understanding what happened to me and deeply accepting it is that I don't have to stay with it. Once I've learned that, I can be someone else. I can become different. I can change. I can relinquish that identity and I can change. I can become different and my behavior to others can improve. And after so much pain and so much learning in such a short time, I can see very clearly how so many of you who I've listened to and read your writings on the web for so many years have not been able to make that change. So many of you have grasped the spiritual personality whilst neglecting to accept fully yourselves. So many of you have made that mistake, which I have made repeatedly over and over and over, but not any longer. I don't do that anymore. And so many of you are doing that. And I can see the consequences for you in that misperception. And I wish I could help everybody to change that, to fully realize themselves and become close to the truth, and to let go of this fear and the anger and all the other stuff it generates. But I can't do that. Not yet, anyway. Who knows what I might become. And so I was thinking I would start with the people I know and people I like and respect, who I can see are having difficulties, like Eric, and I can see what those difficulties are. And it's not just concern for Eric, it's concern for the vulnerable people that you might take your ideas to, thinking that what you're offering them is helpful or is truth, and that as you do that you become powerful. And one of the terribly painful lessons I had to learn was that because I was so powerless when I was vulnerable and small and weak and helpless for so long, for so many years, I sought to redress that balance as an adult, to make myself powerful. And I brought harm and violence and deceit into the world in abundant quantities. Not that it needs my help. And as soon as I realized, which really came to me in a flash, that is what I was doing, I could see that I must not do that any longer, because I don't want to cause myself pain, I don't want to bring pain to others. This unconscious acting out, things that we learn from our parents, is something we all do, and it's the basis of so much pain. And so I was thinking, please, can I offer you some information that will increase your understanding about that? Is that possible? I don't know, because one of the effects of being abused in childhood, Eric, is fear. The fear. That is really the main effect. And let me explain this to you. When a small child is frightened for a long, long time, eventually she or he will refuse to accept fear anymore, will deny it. I can't deal with that, I'll lock it away behind me. And it stays inside, deep inside us, where it's locked away. If somebody then tries to awaken the truth in us later on, when we're no longer experiencing the abuse and the direct terror, the fear that is locked away deep inside us sends a tentacle into our minds and makes us angry, that makes us bring the portcullis down. I'm not speaking to you. I don't need life coaching. Why don't you go and coach somebody else? That sounds like Jack speaking, sort of thing Jack says. You can't be serious. Well, Jack hasn't said that for many years now, but, many, many years. But it feels like just now when I was saying that sort of thing to people. So, please look at that, please look at that. Well, there are a lot of other things I could say, but I think I've given you enough information for the next period of learning and self-development. I think that will help you if you understand what I'm saying, and you can watch the clip again if you haven't understood. Or you can write and ask me directly if there's anything you want to know. I don't expect to receive any inquiries, because I know who it is I'm speaking to. But never mind, maybe you'll learn something anyway. Thanks for listening.